New York City Mayor Eric Adams admitted to @Morgan F. McKay that he does not receive security briefings from the federal government, including possible threats to New York City. The police commissioner and deputy commissioner do now and have. But Eric was cut off starting when he was indicted in September, when Eddie Caban, who was NYPD police commissioner, stepped down himself under investigation. And then Tom Donlin, raided immediately by the FBI upon taking the job after Caban, were NYPD police commissioners. They too could not receive security briefings either, due to being under federal investigation. And certain deputy commissioners and chiefs were also in the same boat, just like myself and the Finest Unfiltered exclusively reported first months ago. 8 million people's lives have been at risk for months. And New York Governor Kathy Hochul knew this and did nothing to remove this corrupt man as mayor. She instead was worried about the Buffalo Bills Stadium and congestion pricing, and only now, for all the wrong reasons, is taking action. She must be impeached as governor for her incompetence of playing politics and endangering the lives of her own voters in New York City. Hashtag The Sal Greco Show. Hashtag The Finest Unfiltered. So let's just watch this and I'll get your take after.
Just got the information and they're going to look over it.
But this now delays a decision in your case, and your attorney said that you haven't been receiving security briefings since your security clearance was revoked, and you haven't even been receiving terrorism threats, which seems like a big part of your job. And you said you've been able to do your job without any sort of interruption.
Well, justice delayed is not justice denied.
Have you not been getting security briefings?
We still have in place the police commissioner and the deputy commissioner, Weiner, who's deputy commissioner of intelligence. And so they do not brief me on those high level briefings. And we're going to respect the authorization you need to get those briefings. But we've been doing the job as need be.
Marlon, what is your thoughts hearing that this is 100% confirmed, and the fact that Kathy Hochul knew this and just sat there and did nothing? She thinks it's fine that 8 million citizens in her state have leaders that are not allowed to get briefings. We don't even know who really did, because remember, he said a police commissioner, but remember what we just stated there. Eddie Caban and Tom Donlin, one resigned and one was raided. Both were raided, but Tom Donlin was raided a week into his reign as police commissioner. So again, that upsets the apple cart. Who's getting briefed? We warned everyone. They didn't want to touch that. They don't even broach that subject. But now, how does Kathy Hochul justify her inactions? I think she should be removed and impeached immediately.
Well, Sal, if I may, to my last point, when I said this was a lawfare trap, it is not in the way the low information sycophants want to jump on it. They want to completely ignore the fact that Eric Adams' administration now is trying to claw back $80 million from migrant shelters. It's a lawfare trap in that Trump is now supporting a guy who is systematically corrupt. Trump waded into a swamp that can easily pull him further down and kind of jeopardize his agenda. And that is where the trap is. The trap is having Trump defend a guy who's systematically corrupt, unpopular, and can't even accomplish the basic job of protecting New York City as the city's chief executive. So, this situation in New York City is a mess. I've used the word kakistocracy a lot. Or rather, it's colloquial version, which is an idiocracy. Okay, that's a government run by the most inept, incompetent people. I've used it to describe New York a lot because the more I look at things around New York State, the more I realize, the people that are in charge of government they're not competent. Look at Hochul, who should have removed Eric Adams months ago. Okay, months ago. You can't have a properly functioning New York City with a guy whose administration, there's a new scandal every day in this administration, New scandal every day. Now we know for a fact that he doesn't have the security clearance. We don't even know. This brings into question who exactly is even running New York City and who exactly is even running the police department. Because we know that behind the scenes, Phil Banks is still there. We know that a lot of policies that Tish wants to enact, she really has to get permission from Eric Adams. She still can't completely clear the deck of all the cronies left over from Phil Banks. So New York State is a mess right now, and I say that Hochul begrudgingly she doesn't want to remove Adams, partly because of the mess that New York City is in. Because, like I said before, if she removes Adams, then she has to a lot of that responsibility falls on her plate. And this is we don't know the full scope of the problems in New York City. And I've said before many times that a lot of those problems relate to New York City's finances. When the full scope of those problems comes out, somebody's going to have to take the hit. Now, Adams being there still becomes a convenient scapegoat for Hochul, as opposed to if she removed him, now it falls on the people are going to be like, well, you got rid of Adams, so now it's your bag, so to speak. Again, New York City's a mess, New York State's a mess, and the longer it goes on, the more deeper this quicksand is.
I wholeheartedly agree with your statement, but I see this as Hochul. I don't know how you can justify her remaining governor with this incompetence, because she's been clearly busy currying favor for the Buffalo Bills, and I guess they gave her like the blueprints for a new stadium that she's trying to get this through, and the congestion pricing, which she's mad that Trump cut off the federal part of that, and she was mad about that. But she's not mad that she left an incompetent, corrupt individual as mayor who cannot receive security clearances, and neither can his underlings. I mean, we go back, Kaz Daughtry, John Schell, all these people have been involved in federal investigations, Department of investigations, had their phones taken. The list could go on and on. Who is getting these briefings? That's scary. He says Wiener's a teacher, I believe, at NYU or on the board or something there. I mean, this is just wild, and I can't believe the incompetence. But there's even more incompetence, because you mentioned Friday, right? So Friday, there was something else that happened. There's a couple of things that happened, but I'm going to show you the first one because this is unbelievable. We found out the Luigi Mangione's case. It says right here, Luigi Mangione's lawyer says Mayor Adams publicly discussed evidence defense had not seen. Mayor Adams and an NYPD official discussed the case with HBO for a documentary. In her remarks to the judge, Luigi Mangione's lawyer, Karen Agnifilio, said she was shocked that the NYPD chief of detectives, that's Chief Kenny, and Mayor Adams were able to sit down with HBO and discuss evidence and their theories of the case for a documentary. The prosecutors have yet to turn over key evidence, including a journal that alleged in his manifesto that Adams at the NYPD official on HBO, Agnifilio said. And I posted this on X, and here's what I said about it. New York City Mayor Eric Adams has significantly affected the Luigi Mangione case that now merits a change of venue or a mistrial because of him and his NYPD executive's big mouth. Eric, former NYPD cop, should know no discussing details of a criminal case until after a conviction. But then again, Eric was never a real cop. Hashtag the Sal Greco show. Hashtag the finest unfiltered. Now I'll say this. The mistrial part, that's a little leading. In that part, you could say, I misspoke. It can't be a mistrial because the trial hasn't even started yet. It hasn't been convened. But a change of venue can happen. Also, I believe it's a request to have the case dismissed because of, obviously, prejudice. And I think, Marlon, what Eric Adams' lawyer, Alex Spiro, is screaming about and why they're trying to dismiss his own case, saying, well, there was an op-ed written by the former prosecutor, Damian Williams, that has nothing to do with him. But he said that there was, they're trying to taint the jury pool. How does this not taint the jury pool in a major case? It's unbelievable, Marlon.
Yeah, it's completely inept, but it's part of course for Eric Adams, a guy who has less than less than 20 arrests to his name, to his 20-year career, and doesn't know the basics, So this shouldn't surprise us, Immediately as soon as Adams became mayor, this was a guy who's going out and partying every night, okay? A guy not concerned with actually doing the duties of mayor, but a guy who's more concerned with the prestige and the fame and the media attention that comes with being mayor. So this really shouldn't surprise us at all, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know what, Sal? If I could also...
I think this is egregious.
Yeah. It's absolutely egregious. This, again, this goes back to the incompetence of the people who run New York City and New York State.
You just watched the latest clip from the Sal Greco show. If you want to watch the full episode, click the link below. And while you're at it, please hit the like, share, subscribe button. And don't forget to click the notification button also.